Hello, everyone, and welcome to the 11th session of the Guardians of the BORG. We have a lot that we're going to be covering here today, and we are live, so I'm going to be answering all of the questions because I'm sure many will be asked. First and foremost, hello, Nico Conot, hello, Ree, hello, Kija, hello, Julianas, hello, Steve, hello, Andy, hello, everyone. Super happy to be here. Danny is not here. He is on holiday in Peru, and I didn't tell him this live was happening because he has to respect vacation time. So he's punished. This will be a session with me only, but it's fine because I know everything. Without further ado, let's begin. So yes, by the way, I added little smiley faces on all of the cyborgs because they were making me a bit sad. So it does look a little bit strange, but it's the way it's going to be for this session. Now, couple of statistics. 5,780 answers, pretty good. Not the best one we've had, but considering it was during alpha sessions, we had some struggles to get out as many emails as we usually would. So it's not that bad. We took the snapshot on the 4th of June. Almost 3,000 people answered the PEP survey, which is amazing because we'll go over the results and what it told us later on. And then the trading competition, which is a little checkbox that we added that I'll go over later as well, has been voted no, 70%, which is a huge no. So you guys do not want a trading competition. We get the message loud and clear. Limitations, 775 people did not get the reward because they were under the 2,000 points, which is camp 3. 208 people have submitted, but the email they submitted was just not found in the system. So if you are in these ones, make sure that you use the email that's linked to the SwissBorg app. Otherwise, it's impossible for us to find you. And 884 people haven't gone until the end of the survey and click submit at the end of it. If you completed the survey on the first day that it was out, you actually had to go back on the page and click submit the survey to get the confirmation. And if you do have the confirmation, then you probably also have the reward. We'll go over all of that more in details. Addressing the ineligible, they will be getting an email. Anyone who's below camp 2,000 points will get an email saying, hey, this is why you didn't get the rewards. Also, if you have more than 2 million points and you wonder why the maths don't add up in the latest slides, this is because there is a max cap at 2 million, which is the same as what we had before. Even though there's a new system for rewards, the cap stays the same. The one below, however, went from 550 up to 2,000. So there is a steep bump here. But it was written in the emails and in the keynote that you needed those 2,000 points. So I feel like there was fair enough warning for that to happen. If you got caught by surprise, you're probably not watching that live anyway. Let's get into the sustainability score. Surprisingly, 4.6. I think it's the best one we have so far. This means that the buybacks are going to be bigger, which I'm really looking forward to sharing as well. But more importantly, it means that SwissBorg is actually doing quite well in these last few months. And hopefully that will continue to be that way, as well as better if the bull run picks back up with a stronger momentum. The pot's current status now is when we're coming into the more complicated slides. So we have to take our time and go over the numbers slowly. There are a few things that I would like to highlight. First of all, we almost bought back 2.3 million tokens in Q1. This just shows that we were quite crazy with the buybacks. Company's been doing well, and we're using that funds to buy back BORG and then get the Guardians to do whatever they want with it, which is what we're doing each session. In January, we bought back 150k BORG. It was a calm month, but then in Feb, we bought back 680, and in March, we bought back 950. Q1 buy, so with the 125k, is of 505,000, which adds up to 2,292,000, which is pretty much 2.3. I rounded it up for marketing purposes, but it's just an 8,000 token difference, so I hope no one will be mad at that. Secondly, I wanted to show a little bit how we're going to be calculating the pot's current status from here on out, because we're changing it a little bit. In the blog, I wrote that the formula to calculate how much we were going to use at each session changed. And from this session onwards, it's going to be this way. So we take 7.5, and then we add the average sustainability score. And what we do is we use that to take a percentage of the BORG pool, which is here. So here we have 7.3 million tokens in the BORG pool, and we have 7.5, which is the number that we will always take, 4.6 as the average sustainability score, which is the example from the page before. It's not the real life, which gives us 12.1. And then we just convert this in percentages, use it on however many BORG we have in that pool, and this, rounded up or down for marketing purposes, will be the amount that we use in the next session. So if our average sustainability score is of 4.6, the next session will have 900,000 tokens in the voting instead of the 750 that we had this time. And what's good about this is that we can also see that there are more tokens that arrived in the pool than what is leaving. And as we're using a percentage every time, it also means that the voting sessions are going to be bigger and bigger. So instead of having 750K like last time, we're going to have 900K. Maybe next time we're going to have 1.1 million BORG tokens in the voting sessions. And so as the BORG price goes up, we'll be using similar amounts of BORG tokens, which means that the airdrops will be higher in USD, which is what we're aiming for right now. Results of the 11th session. I'm just going to check if there's any questions. Better and better. Yes, exactly. That's what we have to remember from this, is that as the pool grows, the amounts used every session will grow as well. And this is the most important thing. And then if the pool starts decreasing, then the amounts that we will be using for voting will be decreasing as well. It just goes as a percentage, so it's going to be proportional always. Yeah, people that mess up entering the email address happens a lot. Make sure that you write gmail.com. A lot of people write gmail.com or .col, and those ones I'm able to manually fix because I go through the list every time. But sometimes I just have no similarities with any email in the database, and when that happens, there's nothing I can do. I don't have a crystal ball yet. Maybe one day. So, safety net 18%, Guardian's contribution 37.75%, burn 28%, and option 4, which was the vault, 16%. Which, well, actually, let's deep dive. So the safety net is now of 1.28 million BORG. Nothing to add to this. The burn is of 210,285 BORG. This I have burned 200K of because we're rounding down or up for marketing purposes. Now we have 20,000 BORG tokens that we will be using in the next session. If, for example, you guys decide to burn 230K, we will be using this to round it up to 250. It will be burned very quickly. It's just that we're rounding up or down to the closest nice big round number in order to make a nice post that you guys enjoy. The result of the rewards, and this is maybe the thing that is going to be most interesting for all of you. It's how are they now calculated? Well, we wanted to create a new system that would align with the BORG journey. So the BORG journey, as you guys know, I've presented in the keynote, allocates everyone or sets everyone on a certain camp, depending on how many points you have. And these points are basically how much BORG you're holding multiplied by your premium tier. So depending on your BORG holdings, you'll be sitting on a camp. And depending on the camp that you're sitting on, you'll be getting a more or less big airdrop from the Guardians. And this is what we were mentioning also in the widgets that you have in the BORG journey altogether. You get more if you are higher up. So how much more is the question? What we do is that the voicing power, which is what we had before, has completely changed. And now the voicing power is a number of points that you are worth in that voting session. So it's going to be your influence in the results. The airdrop is used by calculating how much points you get. And basically those points are the minimum threshold or the number of points that you need to be in a camp. And then you get on top of that the bonuses. So let's take a few examples. You're on camp 6, which means you have 60,000 points. Well, we're going to be taking the 50,000 because you've achieved camp 6, and so you're worth 50,000 points in the reward system. And then that means that you'll be getting 71 BORG. If you've completed the survey, then you'll be getting 78. And if you have completed the survey and voted in 3 sessions in a row, you will be getting 85. So what we're doing essentially is just converting the minimum number of points you need for the camp that you're in and using this to distinguish the airdrop that you'll be getting in BORG tokens. Let me just see if that makes sense. Well, seems like no one's complaining so far. So either no one understood anything, either it made a lot of sense. It's either one of the two at this stage. So yeah, we convert this into the number of points, and then we use our infamous reward/voice rate, multiply this by the number of points you have. So 0.001429 times 50K will be 71. Then plus 10%, 78, then plus 20%, 85. And this is how we're going to be calculating it every single time. So it's also easier for you guys to just figure out, okay, I'm on this camp. This is the number of tokens I got. Okay, I'm on this camp. this is the number of tokens I got. And then you know what you did and what you didn't do. It's extremely transparent. I know right away I knew right away that I got my 20%. So you also know right away if everything went clearly or not. I think we'll probably cycle back to this if there's any questions. So feel free, if you have something, a doubt in your mind, you want me to go over it, explain it again, leave a comment in the live chat and I'll go through it right now. Now, let's have a look at how the adverts did. So we basically in November allocated 23,000 to building some ads and making an acquisition campaign based on alpha opportunities. And this was an idea that was thrown in by a member of the community who desires to stay anonymous. And we've implemented it for him, making sure that his wish came to fruition. And now we have some statistics to share. So we used 10,000 Swiss francs on Meta ads as the ones that you can see here. And we use 10.5 on Google ads. All 4 of these ads went out kind of similarly on both of the platforms. We didn't select only 2 for each platform. We went for all 4 on all platforms. And the results were actually extremely good. So generally, as you can see, maybe Revolut, they have this program where you get $80 if you refer a friend, and they do a couple of actions, which means that their cost of acquisition is $80 for that campaign. Generally, we would range over between 20 and 40, which is already very good for the market and just as a benchmark. But with our campaigns that we did with the Guardians, we actually were around 10 Swiss francs, which is almost 3 times better than we would usually do. What we did was to select France and Switzerland, and then female and male, and then the ages, because we wanted to target an age group that we didn't have any awareness in, and that worked extremely well. And on Google, we went a little bit more broad, and we just said, target everyone as long as it's a country that we are in, that we can do that in. So that got a little bit less traction in terms of conversion rate and cost to convert one person, but it actually got a lot more awareness because we paid for each conversion instead of just people viewing it, which means that it makes it a little bit more interesting. Now, trading competition. I hope that we can see it well on the live stream. I have a little problem here. Yes, perfect. 29.95% of people voted yes. 70.5% of people voted no. What I wanted to do here is just add a little yes/no question, just a one-liner that's very easy to understand, to see if it was a good idea to have more of these in the future sessions of the Guardians. It seemed like the main hurdle that we had in this particular example is that there were no details, which was the purpose. I just wanted to see if people needed details. So now I know that yes. And in the future, if there's any other endeavors that are launched in a similar manner, we will obviously have a lot more details than we had this time around. The PERP survey was extremely interesting. So first of all, we noticed that 60 people had no idea what PERP was. We also noticed that 55% didn't really care about it. They didn't necessarily want to try it. They didn't also understand the explanation about what the PERP was. Only 70% of people have not used a PERP. And then it's a 50-50 on if people are interested in using a SwissBorg white label PERP. So we have these results, which are pretty interesting. And I'm guessing that most people that are here will have been in the yes category for most of the time. And then a lot of people that are at home just investing with SwissBorg and hoping for something in the long run, more laid back, they do not care about it. We've seen that there is excitement and enthusiasm for anything that's related to innovation, to give BORG more utilities. And some people want to do a little bit more than just investing with SwissBorg. They also want to trade. So there's these 3 profiles that were quite well highlighted in the results. But there are a lot of notable cons. A lot of people are against risk, especially leverage. That got a lot of comments. A lot of people felt that they weren't smart or good or knowledgeable enough to actually make it profitable or worthwhile for them. So they weren't interested in us exploring that opportunity. It didn't align with the low-risk strategy that a lot of SwissBorg users enjoy. It was too complex to use because it wasn't a SwissBorg UI. It would have been a white label. And there's also a general disinterest in trading. So people are here to invest, not necessarily just to trade. and they're not interested in being able to trade. So it's very interesting to see that split. I really like the clean 50-50 split on the "Are you interested in the SwissBorg PERP?" It really shows that the community is divided, and I'm not sure what we're going to be doing. But for sure, the insights are going to be extremely valuable for us to figure out what we want to do in the future with this. The Guardians page is always the same, and I think that, yeah, here we have the timeline for the next one, which is Q3, if I'm not mistaken. So there's our trademark mistake right on this slide. Next month, we're going to be deciding what the fourth option is going to be. Then in August, we're going to be opening the session. End of August, it will be the deadline to vote. And then in September, I'll be giving out the rewards and all of that. All right. Let me go through the questions. Which countries were targeted for Google ads that you could advertise in? This I'm not 100% sure of. I know for a fact Switzerland, France, and then most of Europe. I think Estonia is fine. The countries that are over there as well. UK definitely not. But most of the other countries, I believe, are fine. This is the same question, and this is the same question. Hello, Nassim. Hello, marketing works. Yeah, marketing does work. When we do it ourselves, it works especially well. I think that the ads that we built here definitely had impact. I mean, they look amazing, first of all. I really like the plan today, win tomorrow, and the growth starts now. And then when they're with posts that have a little tagline that's very enticing, it can definitely bring great results. And these are very, very good results that we're very happy with. There's no doubt that it's a very low cost of acquisition, especially in crypto, and especially with when it requires KYC and more of a work to actually get started. So being able to bring people from not knowing us into having the app and being verified users for 7.7 Swiss francs is a very, very good score, and we're going to keep running them on our budget instead of the Guardians budget. So the Guardians have allocated 24K for it. We've used that up. We got great results, and now SwissBorg's taking over. And the thing that was very cool, at least I believe, with this this specific fourth option, is that we had full control of what ads were being designed and what we wanted to focus them on. And I was actually chatting with a lot of you on the Discord server, going, "Okay, how's this? How do you think this? Is this sentence okay? Does this video look good?" And I had a lot of feedback every single time. So it's really ads that we built together, which to me is the most beautiful in this whole campaign. So yeah, I've answered this as yes, but I think that I would not necessarily be included in all of those. Sometimes yes, sometimes no. I would be 100% included if we did, for example, if the Guardians voted for building ads on thematics, and then if we allocate, something like 10K on ads for thematics, we would build them together on the Discord once again, and then we'd implement them, and then I'd share the results again. So this is something we can do any session. It's very easy to implement, but yeah, and it went very well. It's something also to note that the campaigns have been implemented by a different marketing manager. Now, some of you who follow the company closely know that marketing manager has switched from SwissBorg to Galactica, and so this guy is the one who had these great results here, and obviously he wouldn't be implementing the next one. So I just wanted to mention this. We would have a different marketing manager on the topic if we were to do one of these campaigns again in the future. Thank you. So yeah, most important is this slide. This is, if you have to remember one thing from this live, it's that from here on out, the rewards are going to be given depending on the camp that you are in. So if you're just a few Borg away from the higher camp, it can be very interesting because you see that if you were on camp 6 with 50K points, you had 71 Borg, but if you had 20K points, you had 28 Borg. It's proportional, so depending on the minimum amount of points, if you need double, then you'll get double. So here, for example, 2 million gets double what 1 million gets, but this is a cap. It's a bit different. 1 million gets double what 500K gets. 500K gets 5 times what 100K gets, and 100K gets 5 times what 20K gets. So you have this ladder, which is fair because at the end of the day, you're getting rewarded the same for the amount of points that you have. But the points are brought down. So if you're standing between camp 9 and 10, you need to make a consequently bigger investment to go up than someone who's sitting between 4 and 5. So there's this disadvantage for the bigger holders, but that does also translate in an advantage because these are pretty good rewards, to be fair. So I hope that it's understandable, and that I don't see anyone that is reacting in any negative way. So that's really cool. And adding Meta Google Ads as additional advertisement and adding Ad Guardian for additional ad reviewing sounds absolutely smart. Yeah, I mean, I really like building things with the community. That's also why SwissBorg is being built with the community. That's why these ads were being built with the community. I feel like there's more power in people, and so far so good. So as long as that continues, why not keep it up? All right. So with that said, thank you very much. Feel free if you have any questions, any doubts, anything you want to bring up. Discord is always open. You can ping me or you can write in the Guardians channel. I have an eye out there very often. And I wish you a very pleasant evening and a profitable week. Bye-bye.